High in the jagged peaks of the Andes, hidden beneath clouds and centuries of silence, lie cities that once thrived, now swallowed by mist and mystery. Walls carved from stone so perfectly they seem impossible, terraces that defy gravity, and pathways that wind through mountains like veins of forgotten civilization. How did these majestic cities vanish without a trace? What ancient secrets are buried in the clouds? Tonight, we journey into the heart of the Andes, where history and mystery collide, to uncover the truth behind the lost cities of the Inca Empire. The Inca Empire was one of the greatest civilizations in human history, a society of engineers, astronomers, and warriors who carved their world from the mountains themselves. Stretching across tens of thousands of square miles, the empire rose and fell in the shadows of peaks that scraped the sky. From the thriving capital of Cusco to the hidden ruins of Machu Picchu, every stone tells a story. Yet, for every city that still stands, countless others disappeared, swallowed by lands and legends. Were these cities abandoned in haste, destroyed by conquest, or erased by some force we still cannot understand? As we peel back layers of time, the Andes reveal their haunting secrets, leaving more questions than answers. Before we descend into the mountains, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Only here will you uncover the most astonishing lost mysteries of history, and tonight, the Inca Empire waits. To understand why Inca cities vanish into the clouds, we must first grasp the brilliance and ambition of the civilization that built them. The Inca Empire, known as Tawantinsuyu, was unlike any other in the Americas. Emerging in the early 13th century in the Cusco Valley of modern-day Peru, the Incas transformed a modest highland society into a sprawling empire that would ultimately cover nearly 2,500 miles, stretching across present-day Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Chile, and parts of Argentina and Colombia. Cusco, the empire's capital, was more than just a city. It was a spiritual, political, and administrative heart. Its streets were lined with finely crafted stone structures, palaces, temples, and plazas that reflected the power and sophistication of the empire. Every building, every road, and every terrace was meticulously planned, embodying the Inca philosophy of harmony with nature. This was a civilization that understood the mountains not as obstacles, but as living partners in their expansion. The cities themselves were marvels of engineering. Machu Picchu, perhaps the most iconic of all, sits perched on a ridge 7,970 feet above sea level, surrounded by steep cliffs and cloud-shrouded peaks. Constructed without metal tools or the wheel, the city was carved from the very stone of the mountain. The precision of the masonry is astounding. Blocks of granite, some weighing several tons, fit together so perfectly that a single sheet of paper cannot pass between them. Terraces slope down the mountainsides, preventing landslides and creating fertile farmland, while an intricate water management system channels mountain springs to irrigate crops and supply the population. Every element reflects the Inca mastery of both architecture and environmental engineering. But the brilliance of Inca cities extended beyond stonework. Their urban planning incorporated spiritual beliefs, astronomical knowledge, and social hierarchy. Temples were aligned with celestial events, such as solstices and equinoxes, linking the earthly city with the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. The Temple of the Sun in Cusco, for example, were constructed to reflect solar passages with extraordinary precision, serving as both a religious center and a calendar for agricultural cycles. Roads radiated outward from Cusco like spokes on a wheel, connecting distant provinces and facilitating communication, trade, and military mobilization across the vast and treacherous terrain of the Andes. These roads, known as the Capacnan, were engineering feats in themselves. Stretching over 25,000 miles, they traversed mountains, deserts, and rivers, often carved into cliffs with stone stairways or suspended bridges made from woven grass ropes. These routes not only united the empire, but also allowed for rapid deployment of armies and transport of goods, from maize and potatoes to textiles and precious metals. Every city along these roads served as a hub for governance, commerce, and religious ceremonies, reflecting the Incas' highly organized and centralized society. The economy of the Inca Empire was equally impressive. It was based on collective labor and reciprocity rather than currency. The meter system required citizens to contribute labor to state projects, from building roads and terraces to working in mines and royal estates. This communal labor ensured the survival and prosperity of mountain cities in an environment where independent subsistence farming could be precarious. In turn, the state provided security, infrastructure, and support during crop failures or natural disasters. Cities became thriving centers where agriculture, religion, administration, and artistry merged seamlessly. Yet, the very qualities that made these cities extraordinary also made them vulnerable. Perched high in the Andes, they were exposed to natural forces that could quickly turn prosperity into peril. Earthquakes, landslides, harsh winters, and unpredictable rainfall could all destabilize carefully constructed terraces or destroy irrigation channels. A failed harvest could lead to famine, while an isolated population was susceptible to disease or invasion. The mountains offered protection, yes, but they also demanded respect, and any miscalculation could have catastrophic consequences. Despite these challenges, the Incas thrived, leaving behind a legacy of cities that inspire or even today. Each city reflected a perfect balance of function and form, spirituality and practicality, human ingenuity and respect for nature. However, these urban centers were not permanent in the way modern cities are. They were deeply intertwined with the social, political, and religious life of the empire. When that life was disrupted by conquest, disease, environmental shifts, or internal strife, the cities were often abandoned, left to be reclaimed by the mountains and forests. As we trace the remnants of these ancient cities, the question becomes unavoidable. How could such powerful, sophisticated urban centers, seemingly built to endure forever, vanish almost overnight? The answer lies partly in history, partly in nature, and partly in mysteries that remain unsolved. But to understand why, we first have to appreciate the scale, ambition, and ingenuity of the Inca civilization, a society that dared to carve thriving cities from mountains, only to leave behind haunting ruins whose secrets continue to elude us today. As breathtaking as the Inca cities were, their brilliance could not shield them from forces beyond human control. The 16th century brought the Spanish conquest, a violent storm that tore through the Andes and shattered the foundations of the empire. Conquistadors, led by figures like Francisco Pizarro, arrived with weapons, horses, and an ambition that would alter the course of history. But it was not just steel and gunpowder that doomed these cities. It was disease, a silent invader that preceded the Spanish by years. Smallpox, influenza, and measles spread faster than the armies themselves, leaving devastation in their wake. Entire populations were decimated, often before the first battle was fought. Cities that once teemed with life, commerce, and devotion became ghost towns overnight. Streets that had echoed with the voices of artisans, priests, and farmers fell silent. Terraces lay untended, water systems dried, and temples stood empty, their sacred rituals halted. The grandeur of Inca urban life was eroded not just by conquest, but by the invisible hand of epidemic. Yet, conquest and disease alone do not explain the mystery of all vanished cities. Archaeological evidence shows that some settlements were abandoned long before the Spaniards arrived. Environmental pressures, it seems, played a crucial role. The Andes are unforgiving. Jagged peaks, sheer cliffs, and unstable soil make life precarious even today. Landslides, earthquakes, and flash flood could wipe out entire neighborhoods, while prolonged droughts or unseasonably cold periods threaten crop survival. During the Little Ice Age, a global cooling period beginning in the late 13th century, many high-altitude valleys became increasingly difficult to farm. Terraces that once produced abundant maize, potatoes, and quinoa began failing, forcing communities to move lower into safer, more fertile regions. Some cities were abandoned with astonishing deliberation. Archaeologists have uncovered evidence that buildings were dismantled, ceremonial artifacts removed, and stones carried away, an intentional clearing rather than hasty flight. Why would the Incas erase the traces of their own settlements? Some scholars suggest strategic retreat. As the empire faced both internal instability and external threats, the deliberate abandonment of certain cities may have been a tactical move to protect sacred knowledge, treasures, or religious sites from invaders. Others theorize that these acts had spiritual significance, a ritual closing of the city as communities migrated or merged elsewhere. Nature, however, was not always negotiable. Even carefully chosen sites could be swallowed by the mountains. Evidence of catastrophic landslides in the Andes suggests that some cities may have been destroyed in moments, leaving terraces and walls buried under tons of rock and soil. Earthquakes, which occur frequently in this tectonically active region, could topple even the most meticulously constructed structures. The Incas' mastery of earthquake-resistant construction, stones cut to interlock perfectly, was remarkable, but even the best engineering could fail under the right combination of forces. The abandonment of cities was not always a tragedy of survival. It was also a mystery. Certain settlements, hidden deep in valleys or perched on cliffs, appear to have been intentionally obscured. Roads leading to them sometimes vanish into forests or cliffs, as if designed to confuse intruders. These sites spark speculation about hidden rituals and secret sanctuaries. Some legends speak of underground tunnels, sacred caches of gold, or ceremonial chambers where priests communicated with deities. Could the disappearance of some cities have been part of a broader plan to conceal sacred knowledge from enemies, or even from the next generation? Modern exploration continues to uncover hints of these hidden worlds. Remote sensing, satellite imagery, and drone technology have revealed traces of settlements invisible to the naked eye, obscured by dense forests or cloud cover. In some regions, networks of terraces, stone foundations, and roadways appear in patterns that suggest a deliberate and sophisticated urban plan. These discoveries indicate that the vanishing of Inca cities was rarely absolute. The remnants of civilization endure, partially hidden, waiting to be discovered by those who venture deep into the Andes. Yet, every new discovery deepens the mystery rather than solving it entirely. Why were some cities meticulously dismantled while others were left to decay? How did the Incas maintain complex irrigation and road systems at such altitudes without iron tools, draft animals, or wheeled transport? And perhaps the most haunting question, what secrets were taken when these cities were abandoned, never to be rediscovered? Some archaeologists believe that these vanished cities hold clues not only to Inca engineering and culture, but also to knowledge lost in the upheaval of conquest, disease, and environmental change. The disappearance of Inca cities is a story of both agility and resilience. While human ambition and ingenuity carved civilization from the mountains, both nature and history conspire to conceal much of their legacy. The cities that remain, like Machu Picchu and Choqquequirau, offer tantalizing glimpses of what once was. But for every visible ruin, dozens more may lie hidden beneath forest canopies or buried under centuries of sediment. The mountains of the Andes, majestic and implacable, keep their secrets closely, challenging explorers to read a landscape like a cryptic manuscript written in stone and soil. The story of the Inca disappearance is therefore never simple. It is a tale of conquest, catastrophe, and conscious abandonment, interwoven with the unpredictable forces of nature. Each vanished city raises questions about human ambition, environmental limits, and the mysteries that civilizations carry with them when they vanish. And as we begin to uncover these remnants, one truth becomes clear. The Andes were not just a home for the Incas. They were an active participant in the story of their rise and fall, shaping the destiny of cities that would vanish into mist and legend. Today, the story of the Inca Empire is far from finished. For centuries, the vanished cities of the Andes were shrouded in mystery, whispered about in local legends and hinted at in scattered archaeological fragments. But the 21st century has brought tools and technology that are transforming our understanding of these lost worlds. Remote sensing, LiDAR scanning, and drone surveys are revealing entire networks of urban centers, terraces, and roads that were invisible under centuries of forest and mist. The Andes, long thought to have hidden these cities completely, are now beginning to surrender their secrets, though never easily and always partially. LiDAR technology, which uses lasers to scan the ground through dense vegetation, has become revolutionary. In regions once deemed inaccessible, archaeologists now identify the outlines of entire cities, agricultural terraces, and road systems long thought lost. Sites like Choqquequirau, previously reachable only after days of treacherous hiking, are now understood to be part of vast networks of settlements connected by roads and stairways that snake across mountainsides. Even more remote discoveries, such as hidden structures near Vilcabamba, reveal that the Inca footprint extended far beyond what historians had imagined. These revelations suggest that the empire's infrastructure was far more complex, sophisticated, and widespread than the surviving ruins alone could indicate. But with each new discovery comes more questions. Why did some cities remain largely intact while others were dismantled or deliberately obscured? Why do certain ruins appear as if abandoned overnight, while others were carefully dismantled, with stones removed and ceremonial objects taken. Some researchers propose that the Incas practiced a form of ritual abandonment, intentionally erasing sites for spiritual or strategic reasons. Legends speak of hidden gold caches, underground tunnels, and sacred chambers where the Inca rulers or priests performed ceremonies that connected the physical world with the divine. Could these deliberate disappearances have been part of a strategy to protect their culture and treasures from enemies, or even to preserve knowledge for future generations? Beyond archaeology, scientific studies are providing new insights into why cities vanished. Soil analysis has revealed sophisticated agricultural techniques once employed on mountain terraces, including crop rotation, frost-resistant varieties, and advanced irrigation. These methods allowed the Incas to thrive in extreme altitudes, but they also depended on delicate ecological balances. Climate data indicates that the Andes experienced dramatic changes during the 15th and 16th centuries, with colder temperatures, heavier rainfall in some regions, and prolonged droughts in others. Such fluctuations could destabilize terraces, collapse irrigation channels, and make high-altitude cities untenable. Some communities may have abandoned settlements strategically, moving to lower valleys with more reliable resources while preserving their knowledge and culture. Modern exploration has also revealed traces of urban planning that speak to a level of sophistication previously unimagined. Some cities were designed with precise solar alignments, echoing astronomical observations at Machu Picchu. Roads, plazas, and temples appear to follow patterns that suggest both spiritual and administrative purposes. Hidden terraces, irrigation channels, and stairways indicate that even remote settlements were integrated into a larger network, demonstrating the Incas' unparalleled ability to engineer thriving communities in extreme environments. Each discovery deepens a sense that the empire was both adaptive and resilient, and that its disappearance was never total, but rather complex and layered. Yet despite these advances, many of the Andes' secrets remain just out of reach. Dense cloud forests, jagged peaks, and inaccessible valleys still conceal ruins that may never be fully explored. Stories from local communities speak of hidden shrines, tunnels, and ceremonial sites, places that resist discovery and seem almost alive in their concealment. The vanished cities continue to capture the imagination because they are not just archaeological sites. They are portals into a civilization that lived in harmony with mountains, stars, and rivers, a civilization that left echoes of genius hidden among the clouds. The human element also remains a mystery. The Inca people themselves, their leaders, priests, and artisans, carried knowledge that was never fully recorded. Quipu, the system of knotted strings used to encode information, was one way they preserved data, but much of it remains undeciphered. Their knowledge of astronomy, agriculture, and engineering was passed down orally or through practical demonstration, meaning that when a city was abandoned, much of this wisdom vanished with it. Modern archaeologists are piecing together fragments, but some secrets may never be recovered. What endures, however, is the inspiration. The vanished cities of the Inca Empire are not simply ruins. They are testaments to human ambition, ingenuity, and resilience. Each terrace, wall, and road challenges modern understanding of what is possible in extreme environments. Each discovery reminds us that civilizations can rise in the most improbable places, adapt with brilliance, and yet still vanish in ways that leave a world asking more questions than answers. The Andes, with their peaks, clouds, and hidden valleys, continue to guard these mysteries fiercely. For explorers, historians, and dreamers, the vanished cities of the Inca Empire are invitations. They challenge us to decipher landscapes, read stones like manuscripts, and uncover secrets that have survived centuries of storms, earthquakes, and human conquest. And as drones soar over Machu Picchu, Choquequiraro, and countless undiscovered sites, one truth is undeniable. The Andes are alive with history, and the Inca legacy endures, not just in what we can see, but in what we have yet to find. As the Andes clouds swell and conceal more secrets than they reveal, one question lingers in the silence. What other civilizations vanish among the mountains, leaving only whispers for us to chase? And will we ever uncover their final truth?